Hello everyone, let's begin. Harmonization with this session 100%, going both ways. Wonderful. So let's take a moment, take a deeper look at the pattern of energy that's presenting itself to us today. So the first thing that I feel is an increased sensation around my ear on the left side. This is usually representative of the amygdala. Let's go with amygdala in this situation, yeah. So an amygdala stress, something to do with the reptilian brain of the human mind, survival mode, right? Things that keep us in fight or flight states, things that keep us in the mode of running from the tiger. Increased sensation at the tip of the eyebrow here, representative of the triple warmer meridian, specifically only on that left side again. Triple warmer meridian can be associated with the thyroid and the adrenals, so let's check. So adrenal cortex, so cortisol levels. Cortisol levels high, cortisol levels low, so indicative of a prolonged level of increased stress perceived by the energy, perceived by the nervous system. Prolonged stress, heightened increased stress in an acute moment leads to increased cortisol. If you stay stressed out over time, eventually you just run out. Cortisol gets low, the body stops being able to produce quite as much of that stress hormone. Also, that makes us less responsive. We're less able to properly engage with things in the world because we're burnt out. Our adrenals have all of their stuff, all of the stuff that they use to tell us how and when to be alert it's fresh out. Sorry, you used up all that you got for the year, so that's just what it is, you know. So something again going on to do with the amygdala and the adrenal cortex in this situation, cortisol levels, stress hormones in the body. Let's look into the energy around this. So this whole portion of my forehead is lighting up now. Still at this point, but higher up here now as well. Representative of the prefrontal cortex. Something that I am seeing and perceiving in my life right now. Also representative of personality, as well as my ability to properly communicate with others. Creativity can also be the prefrontal cortex, but in this case, probably not. That's usually more on the right side. Left side has more to do with analytical things when we talk about right brain versus left brain. Left brain more analytical, more structured things. Right brain more freestyle, more loosey-goosey, going with the flow. Cool. Now there's a spike, and it feels a little bit like pain at the back of my shoulder blade here. So let's go with hypothalamus. So hypothalamus and amygdala working together. Hypothalamus, a center in the brain that's top dog in charge of hormonal distribution in the body. Hypothalamus talks to the pituitary gland talks to the adrenals. HPA axis is what we call that in biology. Hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis in this case seems to be the energy that we're tapping into here. Not an emotion, okay? So we keep moving here. But it is something to do with the hypothalamus. Okay, so elevated fight or flight state, something that I've been trapped in for a long period of time. Let's double check that. Okay, so let's work with that first. So that pinching pain in the shoulder is starting to relax, and I'm kind of getting tinglies into this arm. And a couple of pops in my back in that area as well. new textural sensation, still on the left side at the inside of the eyebrow here. Testing, trying to figure out what this is. Do we need to know? Do we already know? Okay, so something. Something to do with the skin over this area. Skin over this area, usually associated in traditional Chinese medicine face mapping. This area between the eyebrows is associated with the liver, in this case the liver. Liver on the left side is this, okay, tilting line. Cool, so talking about liver, and then a tilting line pops up. Tilting lines representative of emotions. I would look into psycho-emotional energetics at the seminars In Deep, or MED with Dr. Richard Bartlett if you want to learn more about the tilting line, if you want to learn more about psycho-emotional energetics. In this case, this tilting line representative of an emotion in the liver. Let's go with, it's on the left side, so something to do with specifically feminine energy dynamics, right? So masculine, feminine energy dynamics. This is different from gender, it's different from the sex of a person, the biological sex of a person. This is about energy. How do I react to different things in the world? Same with the hormonal stuff that we're doing here. It's about the energy. It's not about me doing medical things to you. I'm not doing medical things to you right now. I'm working with the energy as it unfolds by itself. And I'm pointing out road markers along the way so that you can follow the track of what happens when we sit down and we allow the energy to move on its own. I'm not doing anything outside of pointing out to you what I'm noticing happening. In this situation, masculine, feminine energy dynamics, masculine energy dynamics about giving, about initiating, about starting new tasks, feminine energy dynamics about receiving, about magnetizing opportunities towards myself, right? And also in some ways about just being who I am and that being enough. Let's work out something here to do with liver. Liver is the anger center in traditional Chinese medicine. Is this to do with anger? Is anger the correct word? In this case, anger is the correct word. There are varying degrees of anger. Anger is a scale that can move all the way from I want to kill that person to I'm a little bit peeved right now. Anger is a term that's right in the middle and covers the whole theme of that scale. In this case, anger is the proper word. Anger is the right level of intensity for what we're looking for here. Anger in the body is the more that we need to know about this. So a little bit of Garcia Ennergetics. No issue with us towards this energy. How about the energy towards us? No issue with the energy towards us either. So moving out of Garcia Ennergetics into some of my own categories. Let's go with. So hologram is coming up. We talked about holograms in earlier videos as well, but we can give it a brief little overview here. Holograms, when it comes up in this category, there are other categories. Wait, hang on. Gotcha, yeah. So in this category, hologram representative of a holographic environment, a holographic overlay of things that I'm perceiving around me that aren't necessarily true, right? The way that I texturally feel this overlaid artificial environment is as though two smoke clouds are overlapping each other. Two dust clouds are overlapping each other. One smaller dust cloud is the shape, the texture, the size of you, of your body. And the other is the shape, the texture, the size, the appearance of your entire environment. But both of these things are dust clouds. Both of these things are false in a way. They aren't exactly the whole truth of what's going on, the full natural blueprint of how things actually are is not present. Instead, we're seeing something that has been overlaid on top of the truth, and it wants us to see that instead of what's actually there underneath this illusion. Hand is still moving on its own, so we pay attention to that. So this analogy, this dust cloud, you're both made up of the same thing. You're both made up of dust, right? Which is particulate, and it can move through other dust clouds. So in this case, the environment of a hologram is surrounding you, yes, but it also is running all the way through you, all the time. So it can affect things like the way that I perceive myself in relationship to my environment. Is that relevant here? Great. To do with the emotion of anger, to do with this fight or flight state as well. We're getting kind of glitchy here. Nope. Not glitchy. More just cricky. Like a rusty old piece of equipment. Now it's like it's stuck here. Can't move through that circle anymore. Like I'm blocked up against something, and as I try to press against it, it makes my hand burn a little bit. And it's also getting very hot. This right hand is getting very hot. I'm feeling an increased texture around the entirety of my jawbone. Relevant in the sense of it's related to the thymus. Thymus being a major immune organ. The phrase that's popping into my mind, if I can't see the truth of what's actually in front of me, I have no way of protecting myself from what's actually in front of me. If I can't see what's actually there, then I have no way of preventing it from interacting with me. Something about my system of self-defense being impacted by this illusion that's over the body, this hologram that's over the body. Okay. Here. Textural sensation is increasing in this hand. All throughout the hand. In my visionary space, it seems like it just burst into flames. Multicolored rainbow flames. A bird just flew into the porch and then flew back out. Entering and then leaving. It's relevant. Entering and then leaving. Do with anger. My anger makes me feel unsafe. My anger gets me stuck in this stressed out state. Ah! And I just want to leave. I came in, but I just want to leave. I just want to not be experiencing this overly stressed out state all the time. Why don't I ever get a break? Why don't things ever slow down? Why does everything feel so overstimulating all the time? tapping into that energy was necessary to unwind a pattern. And I have an answer. Why? Because we are stuck in a pattern that is false. We're stuck in a pattern that is false. Are we still within this hologram? Wonderful. Is this emotion of anger still present within our energy? Wonderful. Is this elevated state of fight or flight still present within our energy? Wonderful. Is there anything more that we need to know? I believe that's all that I have for you today, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.